Hey there. What you are about to watch is a real tapping session with a beautiful soul who gave me permission to share. You'll see him start in insecurity and self doubt and gently, naturally progress to enoughness and self compassion and self acceptance. I highly encourage you to tap along if it resonates and just change any wording to make it align to your specific situation and notice what shifts for you. Let's begin. Okay. Hello, Bob. Welcome.
Hi, Jen.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Happy to be here, actually.
Good, good, awesome. All right, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You did send me some general stuff that you wanted to work on that I have here. Do you want to just kind of tell me a little bit about, the stuff that you included on the form, what it is that what came up for you, what you are looking to resolve, I guess, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. You know how you get in situations and you you think you've moved past some things and then something happens and you realize that you have not. So it was a discussion with my wife um, about an issue. I don't know that the IRS is bugging me about owing them money and I don't. Anyway, they're a mess to deal with.
Mhm.
And um, she's she's highly educated. She's a family practice physician. Her siblings are all highly educated. Um, and I didn't get a bachelor's or master's degree. I got married very young. Um, but despite that, I developed a great career in architecture. I got licensed, did everything else you would do anyway. But in past years, when I was younger, I had this issue of being around a group of people who I thought were just, way smarter than me. And I would like shy away from the conversation because I would think, what do I have to offer? I mean, I'm just Bob. I have this like 3-letter word. You can, sounds the same spelled both ways. Anyway, um, that really hasn't come up for quite a while, but you know, you're talking about the IRS, so it's a pretty hot topic, or it could be. And I knew she was concerned, and I get it. It's all about my business, and it's all on their end as far as I can tell. But there was one point where uh, I felt like the questions were just coming one after another. I'm being bombarded with, about this. Have you done that? And she had spoken to her brother about it, whose father-in-law used to be a tax attorney, which is, I thought, okay, that's great, right? He's retired, but okay. That's good. I'm glad she reached out. But it was like right away, his name is Coy, her brother. It's like, have you texted Coy? Have you sent him the information? It was, and I'm like, I'm not anxious about this, or at least I wasn't until, you know, it's like, I'm not worried about this. And at one point it was like, look, this is about me. This is about my business. I can take care of this. I've already decided if I have to hire an attorney, whatever. I kind of went into, and I felt just like I felt it just then, that rise of my voice, and like, don't be that way with me. And so the conversation kind of backed off, and I came in the office and I scanned all the documents to send to her brother so he could talk to his father-in-law about it, because I was happy to get the input. It's like, yeah, please, because these knuckleheads up there don't know what they're doing. Um, and and we didn't really say much, and I didn't really, how things happen in those moments. You're like, I don't want to talk to you. I really, I just don't. So I was sitting on the couch, and my wife and daughter came over and said, we're going to get ice cream at this local place. Do you want any? I said, no. And really short, simple answers like, no, I'm fine. And so they left, and I thought, I just have to get out of the house. I don't want to even be here. So I went for a walk, started to go for a walk, and I thought, well, let me just take the dog. At least the dog can get some benefit out of this walk. And so I was doing some reflection as I was walking, because I thought, just enjoy nature around you, look around, just breathe, and, what happened back there? Why did it get to that level? And then it hit me. It was like, wait a minute. These, she and her brother, highly educated. I don't get to have a seat at this table because I'm not an equal.
Mm-hmm.
Which then translates to, well, I'm not good enough to sit at the table. And the degree deep is like, oh, I really thought I had moved past this. Because generally I'll sit down with anybody and have a conversation. I don't care if you're the president of whatever, CEO of whatever. I don't care. I can have a conversation about something. I may not be versed in what you do. That's okay, because we're all different. But I really thought I had resolved it. And I was like, this is that mirror thing. What's happening to you gets mirrored in the conversation and the person you're talking to. And I just, did one of those, oh gosh, really? That's that's what this is about. That's why I'm frustrated and angry. Do I think she needed to keep prying? No, but I also understand her personality. I also understand why. And I don't fault her for that at all. So I kind of moved past that and thought, the roles were flipped. I may have been asking questions too. I don't, it's, I'm aware enough to understand,
Yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah, which made it even worse for me, because I thought I've done all this work on this myself. I continue to work on myself, and then this comes up. It's like, what? This is not supposed to happen, but it's all part of the journey of life and being a better person and growing and all. And but it was good. It was good to come to that on my own, do that reflection, and I really wanted to talk to someone. And I have a friend that doesn't live too far away. Well, she's about an hour away. So I left her a voice note on iMessage, and I told her she didn't have to call me back. I just needed to blah to somebody. And she and I have exchanged stories about our relationships, because she's on a similar one. Her boyfriend personality is similar to my wife's, and she and I are similar anyway. But it felt good, because I didn't want to sit down and journal. I just wanted to get it out. And so had a great walk, dog had a good time. I came to that awareness and was like, okay, and realized, I get to just be me. I don't have to be versed in everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. It
Absolutely.
took a while to get there, but it's like, and even later on, she apologized, and which I was happy to hear. And so things got better. They got back, and she, are you feeling better after your walk? I said, yeah, I feel better. But there was still that little, yeah, but I'd be fine if nobody was here and it's just me and the dog.
Yes.
So basically, I don't really know. It's funny, of all the things that I worked on and read and listened to podcasts and books and all that stuff, like, okay, but how do I really start to address this at the level that I need to? Because I don't have to prove anything. And I know that in my heart. I don't have to prove anything, that I'm a worthy human being. I know the kind of person that I am, and I love who I am. So how do I get past something that just pops its ugly head once in a while in a situation like that, where I feel like I have to step away because I don't know enough, or, I'm not book smart enough in that subject or something. And this is a common thing in the family dynamics there. So um, um, anyway, my sister-in-law, her brother's wife, and I are very much alike. So when we're at a family event and we watch them, we stand in the corner and laugh because the conversations get just hilarious because they go in so much detail, and it's like, okay, this one's going to prove they're right, but then this one's going to rebut and say they're right, and they're going to say why they're right. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of felt stuck the last couple of days about how do I begin to work on this other than just affirmations, which, okay, no, I didn't want to, those are great.
Right.
They have their place, but I felt like, no, this is not an affirmation thing. There needs to be something else.
So I always think it's interesting when because it happens to everybody, when we think we've worked through something and then it resurfaces. um, I've recently been finding for myself and for some, clients that I tap with, that it's not so much the thing that's coming up, but the loop that we get ourselves into about the thing that's coming up. And it sounds like you were able to kind of step back and reflect, and you have a deeper understanding, I think, than most people would, of where the frustration and anger, the insecurity is coming from. It's not so much your wife. You mentioned mirroring yourself. It's things that are still inside you. So I think that's very, very aware. That's kind of amazing. Um, let's do, I have just like a little tapping to based on this stuff that you shared in your on your form, just like a little one to get us started, and just kind of notice as we tap through if any specific memories come up, or like a time that you felt that way. And it's not necessary to uncover like the root of the childhood problem. I think like as we knock down like the legs that are holding that up, then that itself falls, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So does that sound good? If we
Yeah.
just kind of go through a little here? Okay. All right. So you could just I'm gonna do this side, on the side of the hand. So take a deep breath first. And when you think about the situation, the conversation, notice how intense it feels. If the thoughts that come up, the emotions that come up, how intense they are. And some people don't like to rate them. I'm okay with that. But how intense, if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say? How intense is it?
At the moment, thinking about it, it's probably like a 7 or 8.
Probably like 7 or 8. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little up there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just tap. We'll do this one. All right. So even though I felt frustrated and small in that conversation,
Even though I felt frustrated and small in that conversation,
I'm open to gently understanding what this is really about.
I'm open to gently understanding what this is really all about.
Even though part of me still feels like I don't belong,
There's part of me that feels like I still don't belong.
I'm willing to stay curious
I'm willing to stay curious
and compassionate
and compassionate
toward that part of me.
toward that part of me.
And even though this old story showed up again,
And even though this old story showed up again,
I'm not here to fight it.
I'm not here to fight it.
I'm here to listen to it.
I'm here to listen to it.
Okay, so we'll just tap through. Okay. That conversation really stirred something up.
A conversation really stirred something up.
I felt frustrated,
I felt frustrated,
maybe even embarrassed
maybe even embarrassed
and angry.
and angry.
It reminded me of an old belief,
Reminded me of an old belief,
a belief that I'm not smart enough,
a belief that I'm not smart enough,
like maybe I'm not good enough,
like maybe I'm not good enough,
and like maybe I don't belong
and like maybe I don't belong
unless I have the right credentials.
unless I have the right credentials.
I have felt this before,
I have felt this before.
that old voice that says I don't measure up.
That old voice that says I don't measure up.
And I don't have to force anything to change.
I don't have to force anything to change.
I'm just noticing what's here.
Just noticing what's here.
So tell me, as you're tapping on the collarbone, just notice how intense it still feels, and where are you feeling it, like in your body, anywhere in your body that you're feeling it.
Um, it has lost some intensity, a little bit. I'm feeling it right just below my collarbone into my sternum area, chest sternum.
So like in your chest area,
Yes,
chest, sternum,
chest. Yeah.
chest.
Yeah.
So just notice it, just let it be there.
Okay.
Just say, I'm noticing this sensation in my chest.
I'm noticing this sensation in my chest.
Not trying to force it away,
I'm not trying to force it away.
just letting it be there.
I'm just letting it be there.
So how is it? If you were a 7 before, just take your time, just kind
Yeah.
of feel into it and notice.
It's softened. Um, I noticed it starting to soften when you hit the word compassionate. I thought I was just gonna cry right then. Just okay. Yeah, I probably wasn't having any compassion for myself at all during that time.
That it's not haha funny, but it's a little ironic that you say that, because when you were telling me about, like, it sounded like you were expressing compassion. It sounded like you were trying to come from a place of understanding yourself and not beating yourself up. So it's interesting, actually, like just an observation for you to notice that maybe you were maybe not practicing the compassion so much as just saying the words.
That's
Does that
really
sound?
good. I did not think about that because being aware of it and feeling good about I recognize you and I know you is not the same as, hey, Bob, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do a little on the self-compassion here.
Okay.
So, even though I've been carrying this story
Even though I've been carrying this story
and I thought I had let it go,
and I thought I had let it go,
but it crept back up.
but it crept back up.
And maybe I wasn't as compassionate with myself as I could have been.
Maybe I wasn't as compassionate with myself as I could have been.
I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
And I'm showing myself compassion now.
I'm showing myself compassion now.
I deserve compassion.
I deserve compassion.
I deserve compassion.
I deserve compassion.
Sometimes I say it,
Sometimes I say it.
but I don't know if I always believe it.
I don't know if I always believe it.
And even if I do believe it,
And even if I do believe it,
maybe I don't always show it.
maybe I don't always show it.
Because it's easy to say, I love and accept myself.
It's easy to say I love and accept myself.
But to actually do that is another story.
To actually do that is another story.
And you know what?
You know what?
Could have shown myself compassion about that too.
I could have shown myself compassion about that too,
Because I'm human.
because I'm human.
And I might want to be the best me I can be all the time.
And I might want to be the best me I can be all the time.
But I also understand
But I also understand
that that looks different from day to day
that looks different from day to day,
and maybe even minute to minute.
and maybe even minute to minute.
So I'm giving myself a break.
I'm giving myself a break.
And I'm also letting it be okay
And I'm also letting it be okay
if I do sometimes miss compassion for myself,
I do sometimes miss compassion for myself,
because it's often our thoughts about our feelings
because it's often the thoughts about our feelings
that are the problem
that are the problem,
and not our actual feelings themselves.
and not the actual feelings themselves.
So it's okay that I wasn't compassionate then,
It's okay that I wasn't compassionate then,
or as compassionate as I would have liked.
or as compassionate as I would have liked.
I'm allowing myself to be compassionate now.
I'm allowing myself to be compassionate now.
All right, so let's revisit the two pieces in whatever order is good for you. So we talked about the compassion, which we just tapped on, and then the original event, the difficult conversation. So how are you feeling around both of those?
What was interesting for me is the situation itself took a back seat to the compassion part.
Okay.
So as we were tapping on the compassionate part, the other was not present, at least not in my conscious awareness, or but the compassionate part was really all there. Yeah.
So when you think about the event, the conversation, where's the intensity? If it was a 7 before and it had softened a little bit before we started on the compassion, but when you think about that conversation and the things that it brought up, where the insecurity and not having the right credentials, and where do we stand now?
4 maybe. It's yeah. It's just crazy to me.
That's amazing. Let's try to tap that down a little bit more, and then we'll come back to that self-compassion, because I don't like to leave. I like to get it as low as possible, like a 2 or a 3 is ideal, but you know what I mean. So let's just go through a little bit more here, and then we'll revisit.
Okay.
So even though I've been carrying this story
Even though I've been carrying this story,
that I need a degree to be respected,
that I need a degree to be respected,
I'm open to rewriting that.
I'm open to rewriting that.
Even though I've doubted my voice,
Even though I've doubted my voice,
I'm beginning to see how much wisdom I already carry.
give me a sec.
Take your time.
That one hit. Okay. I can do this. Okay, go ahead. What was it?
Is it too much? Do we need to step back?
No, I think it's okay to feel it, and
Mhm.
I have learned to not squash these feelings.
Yeah. Let's follow the thread. So what came up for you right there?
What were the words that you used exactly? Or
So
quote?
even though I've doubted my voice,
Even though
I'm
I've doubted
beginning, yeah, I'm beginning to see how much wisdom I already carry.
the second part of that is very true. I have that just keeps becoming more apparent to me. Um, I see it in myself. I have people tell me that. I posted something yesterday on Facebook, and I very much do things intuitively. When it feels right to do it, I just do it. And my cousin put a message in there. Thank you for helping me have some joy today. Yeah. So I know that I have grown in that respect. I know I'm beginning to understand more and more who I am, and it's okay to feel good about being who I am. You know, it's yeah. Yeah.
So what does it kind of seems then like it's incorrect. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost seems like that emotion that came up, was it coming more from a place of realizing that you carry wisdom, or were you like resisting, no, that's not true?
Realizing that I have really developed a lot in the last 5, 6, I don't know, 8 years, however long I've been kind of working on this. It's a moment of wow, you know. Okay, yeah, I'm of value. I have value. It validates that. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's let's just keep, we'll keep going here. Keep uh
Yeah.
we're gonna follow this a little bit. So I'm beginning to see
I'm beginning to see
how much wisdom I already carry.
how much wisdom I already carry.
And I'm almost beside myself with emotion
I'm almost beside myself with emotion
in an amazing way
in an amazing way
that this actually feels kind of true.
that this actually feels kind of true.
I have accomplished so much without some special degree.
I have accomplished so much without some special degree.
I've lived and learned.
I've lived and learned.
I've grown and I've helped others.
I've grown and I've helped others.
And my voice matters
And my voice matters
because it's mine.
because it's mine.
I've spent years proving my value
I've spent years proving my value
without even realizing it.
without even realizing it.
Maybe I don't need to prove anything.
Maybe I don't need to prove anything.
Maybe I've always belonged.
Maybe I've always belonged.
I don't need a permission slip to take up space.
I don't need a permission slip to take up space.
I don't need a special invitation to sit at the table.
I don't need a special invitation to sit at the table.
I'm allowed to trust my intelligence.
I'm allowed to trust my intelligence.
I'm allowed to trust my instincts.
I'm allowed to trust my instincts.
And I'm allowed to trust my worth.
And I'm allowed to trust my worth.
Take a deep breath. Okay, so tell me what's coming up for you now. Good, bad, and different. I mean, don't good, bad. That labels, of course, but
when we tapped on the part about sitting at the table, what came up was I can just pull up a chair. Wow, that was crazy. That feels really good to have that just pop up. It wasn't that I wasn't allowed to be there. I could just grab a chair and sit down.
oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, that feels great. Yeah, it does.
So when you think now, about the original thing that we started tapping on, the conversation, feeling a little insecure, with the old patterns resurfacing, and not feeling like you didn't have a certain special degree. Like, yes, you were educated, but not educated the way that society tells you you should be. all of those things. So how intense is that now? We were at a 4 last time.
1.5, maybe. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It didn't even matter at this point. I mean, I don't feel like it has any weight to it.
That's awesome.
It's really interesting. Yeah, I'm just blown away by this.
That's amazing. I love it. So is there anything still there? We're down to 1.5. What about the compassion piece?
This is probably not going to be a surprise to you, because you've probably come across this, and most of us experience it, is the concept, the idea that we really are allowed to receive like we give. And I've always been a giver. It's a natural thing for me because I'm compassionate and empathetic. I'm a highly sensitive person. And if I see somebody who has a need, an emotional need, I'm just there. You don't have to ask me. I'm just there. And intuitively, I've sent out emails or messages or phone calls, whatever, when I felt like it was something I needed to do. But of course, I don't know if it's part of being human or just not allowing myself. It's so much harder to really receive it back when it's given in the same way I've given it. Because the other person gets to appreciate that same thing that I get to appreciate. And if I don't receive it from them, then they don't get to do that.
Spoken like a true empath. I truly believe that. Absolutely. I think I'm not surprised. You're right. It is, as a fellow empath, and a lot of the people that do this kind of work are, tend to be empaths. So it's so easy for us to give to other people. But sometimes it's kind of a little loop there, giving to ourselves is a little bit different. So receiving in that way, giving ourselves what we need to receive doesn't come quite as naturally.
It takes work to even learn how to start doing that. And then when you do it, sometimes, like we were tapping on earlier, it's like saying the words, but there's nothing behind the words.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. So one of my favorite things, or I say this to myself all the time. Do you ever notice that a lot of the times the things that we you mentioned that you shared something and somebody really got some joy out of it.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of times for me anyway, when I share something, I tend to share things that I need for myself, and then it just kind of naturally attracts or naturally gravitates to the people that need to hear it. Have you noticed that? So one of the things that I say a lot is self-awareness without self-acceptance is like facing yourself in a boxing match. And I have to remind myself of that almost daily. Like I go through these seasons where I have to tell myself that, like, yes, I'm very self-aware, as you are very self-aware as well. We have to accept it, and that doesn't mean just letting it be and living with it forever, but you just have to be okay with who you are. And then the next steps kind of happen, the next right things to do.
Yeah. I've never heard anybody say it that way, but wow, it makes a lot of sense. Like being in a boxing match with yourself, but nobody's going to win in that one.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I know this, but I'm going to beat myself up for it. Like, yes, I'm aware of this, but it's not okay that this is true for me. I have to beat myself up for it. Whereas if I just notice, hey, I'm not being as compassionate with myself as maybe I need right now. And instead of beating myself up for not having been compassionate, like we'll just get into a loop. Oh, now I'm not being compassionate again. Oh, there I go again. So if we just accept, I wasn't compassionate, I'm just going to let that be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. My cat wanted to make an appearance there.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Bring the cat in. The cat might be of help.
She's needing some attention right now. But
That's okay. Good. Everybody needs attention, even
yeah,
our fur babies.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's
So what?
all right, that was I should write that down. Wow, that was good.
Yeah, yeah. So what else is coming up for you? What else can we tap through?
Um, well,
Not
the
to put you
other,
on the spot, you know.
oh no, that's fine. Actually, it's I'm I can well, I think as empaths, we can also beat ourselves up really easily about things. And as you know, I want to finish up this coaching course I'm in, this life coaching course. And there's so little to finish. I mean, it's comical to some extent. And it's like, Bob, just don't overthink it. Just get it done. And even if you don't, okay, because I think this is interesting, just came up. I think it's part of it is a block. And there are guidelines in the program, and there are specific guidelines for life coaching. I think it's based on the course that you take. As a general rule of thumb, I think there are probably common threads, no matter who you're taking your course with, where the certification is coming from. But some things I remember going through the course are like, no, I don't buy that. I don't think that fits. And so when I get to be a life coach, I'm going to change some things. So I've noticed when I'm at the last leg of submitting my practice coaching sessions. I need to get one approved because I haven't yet. And usually, so far, I think it's been because I not because I'm an empath, but partly because I do want to help. I do want to see the other person get something. I can share in moments that I need to ask questions and be more curious. There's a place for sharing. And even my EMDR therapist was telling me about this on a professional level as a licensed therapist, is they're taught the same thing. Generally speaking, you don't share unless there's really something of value in that moment, in that conversation. And I feel like I do that. But I love sharing so much that I think sometimes I just, I don't put the switch on. So yeah, I have been a little hard on myself by not having finished this. So whether I pursue it, I mean, really pursue it, or I do something else related, I still would like to have that certification on the wall.
You've come so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I've come this far, and I do believe in credibility. For some people, it doesn't matter if you have something. But oh my gosh, I just got the connection.
What connection was that?
We tapped on the not sitting at the table because I wasn't educated enough.
Mm-hmm.
Those are credentials.
Yep.
So I wonder if there's some resistance in finishing the program, even though, but it's odd because that would be a credential. But I don't know. I'm just tossing out what's popping up in my head.
Yeah. Oh, it's your head. You know best what resonates with you. Something else that I caught is it. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that self-compassion piece again. You're telling yourself you should be further along.
Mhm.
It sounds like to me, just based on, we've had conversations outside of this, for a long time now,
Yeah.
but can you just be okay that you are where you are and that you haven't finished the course? Can you just be okay with that you want the credential? Or we tend to, I will speak for myself, I tend to make myself wrong about everything. It's wrong to want the credential. I should want to do it to help people, not to get the credential.
Yeah.
You're human. Can it just be okay that you want that credential?
Yeah. You hear the hesitation, don't you?
Yeah. Then
Um,
that's okay. Let that hesitation be okay.
that's true because I've got like 3 bats of different weight over here that I beat myself up with for not being done yet.
Hmm.
Depending on what mood I'm in, what days, when are you gonna get it done? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's tap on this.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
are you up for it? Is that okay?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Even though
Even though
I still haven't finished my coaching certification,
I still haven't finished my coaching certification.
I keep saying I'm going to finish it,
I keep saying I'm gonna finish it.
and I've come so far,
I've come so far,
but it's still not finished.
but it's still not finished.
And maybe I'm judging myself for that a little bit,
And maybe I'm judging myself for that a little bit.
and I'm just going to let that be okay.
And I'm just gonna let that be okay.
And if it's not okay that I'm judging myself,
If it's not okay, then I'm judging myself.
I'm going to let it be okay that it's not okay,
I'm gonna let it be okay that it's not okay,
to whatever degree I can.
to whatever degree I can.
Still haven't finished the coaching certification,
Still haven't finished the coaching certification.
and I really want that to be okay.
I really want that to be okay,
But it doesn't maybe feel entirely okay
but doesn't maybe feel entirely okay.
because I know I'm capable of finishing it.
Because I know I'm capable of finishing it.
I definitely have the heart.
I definitely have the heart.
I care a lot and I want to help so many people.
I care a lot and I want to help so many people. I do.
And this coaching certification will help me do that.
And this coaching certification will help me do that.
But maybe my approach isn't as aligned as I'd hope.
But maybe my approach isn't as aligned as I'd hoped.
Because I catch myself
I catch myself
wanting the certification.
wanting the certification.
And maybe I make myself wrong in some ways
Maybe I make myself wrong in some ways
for wanting that credential.
for wanting that credential.
Maybe it feels like if I want it for the credential aspect of it,
Maybe if I feel like I want it for the credentialing aspect of it,
it makes it a little less authentic that I want to help people,
it makes it a little less authentic that I can help people,
or a little less genuine.
or a little less genuine.
And on a lot of levels,
And on a lot of levels,
I know that that's kind of silly,
I know that that's kind of silly.
or maybe not silly, but not true.
Maybe not silly, but not true.
Because, of course, I want to help people. That's why I'm getting a coaching certification.
Because of course I want to help people. That's why I'm getting this coaching certification.
But I want to help myself too.
But I want to help myself too.
And if this particular credential is going to do that,
And if this particular credential is going to do that,
I'm just going to let that be okay
I'm just going to let that be okay
to whatever degree I can.
to whatever degree I can.
Not going to force myself to accept it.
I'm not going to force myself to accept it.
Just going to let myself be me.
Just going to let myself be me.
I'm going to work toward the certification
I'm going to work towards the certification
because it feels right.
because it feels right.
And I'm going to do my best to not beat myself up
I do my best to not beat myself up
for wanting their credential.
for wanting the credential.
So where are we? How are we feeling?
I feel like I just gave myself compassion I haven't been giving myself. Yeah, because over that subject, I really haven't been. I've probably used a lot of makeup to cover up the bruises. That's how much beating up there's been.
Yeah.
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 Ah,
So when you think about and just I mean, don't I think tapping is pretty miraculous. I don't think I've made that a secret, my feelings about it.
right.
Um, but something that every, buddy has to kind of learn in their own way is that sometimes the shifts happen like that, and sometimes they happen over time. Um, so without judging, we yourself, just letting whatever is there be okay. When you think now about finishing the certification, does that block still feel there? Does all of the reasons not to?
There's a little bit left. Yeah, I can feel some hesitancy still.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's I have a good way to finish up here. So even though
Even though
parts of this still feel tender or unresolved,
parts of this still feel tender or unresolved,
I honor the courage it took to face it today.
I honor the courage it took to face it today.
Even though I might not have all the answers yet,
Even though I might not have all the answers yet,
I showed up for myself,
I showed up for myself,
and that matters.
and that matters.
Even though I'm still figuring things out
Even though I'm still figuring things out
and have a little hesitancy that I'm a little unclear on,
and have some hesitancy that I'm a little unclear on,
I'm proud of the presence and honesty I brought to this session.
I'm proud of the, oh, why'd you say that? Sorry.
I'm proud of the presence and honesty
I'm proud of the presence and honesty I brought.
I brought to the session. Yeah, so I gave myself space today
I gave myself space today,
to something that I usually push away.
something I usually push away.
I let myself feel without needing to fix.
I let myself feel without needing to fix.
I let myself be seen.
I let myself be seen.
And I saw myself more clearly too.
And I saw myself more clearly too.
This story is still unfolding,
The story is still unfolding.
but today I made a shift.
But today I made a shift.
Today I choose compassion over judgment.
Today I choose compassion over judgment.
I choose curiosity over self-doubt.
I choose curiosity over self-doubt
To whatever degree I can,
to whatever degree I can,
and just letting that be okay.
and just letting that be okay.
And I trust that the growth and healing will continue
I trust that the growth and healing will continue
even after this session ends.
even after this session ends.
My nervous system can rest now.
My nervous system can rest now.
Say that one again. My nervous system can rest.
My nervous system can rest now.
I am safe.
I am safe.
Right here in this moment, I am safe.
Right here in this moment, I am safe.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I belong.
I belong.
Deep breath.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I want to say this to you because I know how important it is to me when I am talking to someone and being there for them, that they really know that I am there, and that I see them, and that I hear them, and that it's about them. And you've done that for me today, and that is beautiful, because some people don't know how to do that.
Mm.
You naturally do that.
Thank you.
And yeah, sometimes you don't know what you need.
Yeah.
And here we are. I didn't know where we were going to go today,
Yeah.
but it really hit on some things that were important for me to look at without the bat in my hand.
Yeah. Got those boxing gloves on.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
really want to box with myself, but yeah, I've done that way more than I would care to admit. But I know that part of that's being human. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we got to the part about your nervous system and then feeling safe. That's something I've been working on for, for as I started this program with nervous system work, and it's huge. It's a big deal. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So I something I don't know that I did this in the last time that we tapped together, but something that I've started doing is just asking what's one nice thing you can do for yourself today, whether that's just like something to take care of yourself or a step that you can take. And I know that I'm putting you on just on the spot, so if you, but sometimes I feel like that's how the best answers come up. What's something you can do for yourself, whether it's just to show yourself a little extra compassion or to take a step toward this goal, this coaching certification goal that you have, or just whatever it is that you think you need. What can you allow yourself to receive today?
When you started asking that question, what popped up was I did a practice coaching session on Friday morning with somebody that I respect, and I was even nervous going into it. I did some breath work before I started, which I thought, oh my gosh, can I do this? and we did it. And in a group chat today, she mentioned the value she got out of it, and I managed to keep it under the time limit. But I haven't submitted it yet, so I think one of the things I could do is send it off, fill out the submission form, and just let it go. Whatever happens, let it go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just let any hesitation or fear, just let it, my advice or, my input, just let it be there. Like, I'm afraid to do this. Just notice it. You don't have to feed it. You don't have to come up with all the reasons that you're afraid. I mean, if those thoughts pop up, just let those be there too. That's something I personally have been working on myself. And kind of like we said, a lot of times you attract the people that you teach by like what you're going through too, like what you need yourself, kind of like I said before. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah.
It does, and I like that. I'm a visual person too, and when you were talking about that, I thought it's like having a little person on my shoulder that's just whispering the fear stuff, and you're like, oh, look, you're back. Oh,
Yeah.
I just hang on a minute. Well, yeah, I got to do something.
Yeah. So hey, you can be there, but I have something else to do. You're okay. Yes.
Yeah. Lay down, take a nap, whatever. I've got to do this.
Yeah.
I'm
I love
doing
that.
this anyway. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was good. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, this is great. I've done tapping myself in the past, but I've never experienced it the way I have with you leading the tapping. And wow, yeah, you're
Good.
really very, very good at this.
Oh, thank you. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words of wisdom? Did you do absolutely have some wisdom? Anything you want to share?
What I want to share is you need to keep doing this. It's you're very, this, I know you know this, but you are very intuitive. and you tap in very quickly when, and I know you do it for all your clients, whenever I say something, even if it's a little bit past when I said it, you've caught it and you want to address it. So you're very much present, and your intuition, you're allowing your intuition to guide how your tapping session goes. And I love that. I think, yeah, there's a lot of value. You're going to help a lot of people with this. This is really pretty amazing.
That's
So you get that from me, and you get to receive that.
Thank you. It will come as no shock to you that I needed to hear that intuition message today.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't shock me.
No, I knew that it wouldn't. I really needed to hear that. Thank you.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
good. I'm just so, I don't know. I'm becoming more and more just baffled by how things work out.
Yeah.
You just get out of the way.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, another hard lesson to learn. But
Yeah, it is.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. This was amazing. I know that we will talk again soon.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. I'm just going to bear with me 1 second here.
Sure.
Thank you so much for watching and for tapping along today. I hope you'll let me know in the comments what you noticed in yourself, if you experienced any shifts, and if you are interested in working one-on-one for your own stuff, you can follow the link in the description. Thanks again. See you soon.